If you clicked on this video, I'm sure you're at least a little bit familiar with the brand Rouje. Now, this is the quintessential cool French girl brand. I'll spend hours going through their website, looking at all the things I would love to own, the luxurious, high quality, timeless basics, as well as some of their other trendier, more like current fashions. I don't personally know a lot of people who would be willing to spend that much on any particular item of clothing. Instead of just automatically buying these items, trying to make it myself, and if I can't do it, it's too hard, or it doesn't actually end up being a good dupe for the item, then I can justify the price point because I wasn't able to do it myself. But I have had more success with it than I thought I would, honestly, and that's why I wanted to start this channel. I think it's really, really fun to challenge yourself to do this. It's more sustainable. You're taking clothes out of thrift stores, and instead of them going into the landfill, you are able to create these unique, cool pieces in your wardrobe. It's like a win-win. Let's take a look, shall we? This was actually the first item that I thrift flipped, and this is my recreation of this top from Rouje, the Palmyra shirt. What I could not justify was the $195 price point. So I found this in Chicago, probably for $6, I want to say. Old Ann Taylor shirt. It was 100% cotton. It wasn't as fit as this before. I did add a couple darts to the front, so one on each side in the front and then a few in the back here to cinch in the waist. In hindsight, there are a few technical errors, I would say, things that I could revisit to fix, like this hem in particular. This was the second Rouje dupe that I made. This is a dupe for the chinola top right here. So at $130, it's a more reasonable price point, but I still wanted to challenge myself to recreate it. Let me show you the detail. You can see the pin tucking there, the eyelet, like cotton trim. I think it's really cute. Now this one right here, I would say is probably my least successful dupe. This is a dupe of the Rouje big bag here. So this is the original, and then this is my recreation. It kind of makes me laugh because it's just humongous and floppy. Made from a vintage Talbot's pencil skirt out of like a fake microfiber suede. So not a natural material, but I was just working with what I had. Wanted to challenge myself to make a bag, and it definitely was a challenge. You can kind of tell in the way that it looks that it was challenging because it doesn't look amazing. Let's look at the projects we'll be doing. So I made this Millinote board. I'm gonna be recreating this white pleated blouse. I have a pretty good starting point for this already. I will show you in another clip to actually try everything on. Then I have this black silk cami that I wanna add some lace to. I have a couple different camis sort of similar to this. I have to choose which one I actually wanna do. This, I don't know. This is kind of like lowest priority, honestly. I have this London Fog trench coat, that I thrifted in Chicago, and it's just huge. It's so big. Like, I know oversized trenches are really trendy right now, but this is just like really oversized. Like, I kind of look like a public flasher, honestly. I look like a pervert. I really do want to make this, actually. The problem is I don't have black velvet fabric, and I'm trying to just use up stuff that's in my fabric stock because I have like 3 huge bins, not to mention all the stuff that I thrifted, to do flips. And I'm gonna pattern test a pattern I already have in order to see if I can recreate this with like the little keyhole. I found this vintage brooch on Etsy. I think it's so cute. I really want it. It's $30, but I think it would be quite beautiful on the top of that dress. This is contender number 1. So literally all I'm gonna do to this is just add some black stretch lace like all around the edges. So the neckline all on the back here and the hem as well. But I have a second option for this one. Okay, oh my God. This is the second option that I had for the silk dress thing. I will never wear this as a dress. I'm 6 feet tall. Anyone who's like shorter than me is gonna have a real nice view right up my skirt. So I got this stretch black lace from Mood Fabrics. I think I got like 2 or 3 yards. Hopefully it's enough for this project and the other one that I'm planning. There's this tiny little prick in the fabric at the top. So now I'm going to put this lace on top of it to hide it. The lace is like peeking above the neckline, so it's kind of like halfway on the dress and then halfway off of it. Something like that, something like this. Pinning this in place at the you know, kind of like half point of the lace, so it's equally like exposed all the way around. As I'm pinning along the neckline, I'm seeing kind of like an issue here. The actual shape of the top, more of like a triangle at the bust. So there's this angle here where the lace isn't sitting quite where I want it to be as I'm like going across this curve. I think what I'm gonna have to do is cut the lace at an angle and sandwich them together, sew it at the angle, and then lay it across, because I'm having the same problem over here. I realized that the reference image from the Rouje top is actually like more kind of flat straight across at the bust, so there's not that like buckling. I calculated roughly where both like the trim pieces would meet at the back seam pin at the angle that I wanted it to go. So now right side's facing, I'm gonna line up these pins together and sew as close as I can along this line to create the seam and then the angle so that it can lay nicely on the back seam. Okay, it's kind of being eaten by the machine, honestly. This is not what I wanted to happen. I swear I'm better at sewing than this. After a lot of trial and error, I figured out to just lower the tension on the presser foot so it wouldn't be mashing the lace so hard, because it is pretty delicate. And if the presser foot is really weighing down on it, it's just trapping the fabric underneath the feed dogs and it's just getting caught and jamming the machine. Okay, tear this away. It worked. It like kind of looks terrible, but it worked. Finally. Now I have all of the lace pieces and the different angles sewed together. I repinned everything back into place. Now I'm going to do that basting stitch. I just finished attaching the top of the lace. I think it's looking pretty good so far. I don't know. You really can't tell very much because it's black on black. I don't have enough of the lace. I'm gonna have to order some more before I can actually do the hem. Now I'm on Mood Fabrics ordering some more of this lace trim and then getting this like elastic scallop edge trim to make a satin skirt dupe for a Reformation dupe video. I'm getting some mother of pearl buttons to replace the buttons on the white blouse as well, so it's like a little bit closer to the actual Rouje item. And then I'm gonna order this like orchid brooch thingy too from Etsy so that I can make the other dress as well. This has got to be like probably the worst organization that you can have for sewing patterns. Where is the, hello? Where's the pattern? Oh, here it is. Ah, yay, I found it. This is the Kiana Bonolo dress that I made a few years ago. The sleeves are huge, way bigger than the actual Rouje dress that I'm trying to recreate. So I'm gonna streamline the sleeve by just making it like very fitted. Hopefully that will allow me a little bit more material to work with for the rest of the dress. When it comes to the skirt, I love the fit of this one. I think it's very flattering. However, it's a little bit looser than the Rouje one, so I think this will save me a little bit of fabric as well if I make it more fitted. And then the neckline, I have to make the keyhole pattern. Be like from here to here, and then I'll put the little orchid. I think it'll be cute. And this is the sleeve pattern. I'm keeping it very fitted at the wrist. It's like 6.5 inches, I think, with some seam allowance on each side. There is like a facing that goes on the inside of the neckline in the dress. It's a way to finish the edge of the neckline without having like a seam along the edge where you just like rolled in the hem and tacked it down. It actually creates like a little bit of a lining so it lays a little better. However, that's kind of difficult to factor in once I'm like realizing I'm trying to fix this pattern to add the keyhole right here, which is where the facing is gonna go. So now I have to figure out how to copy that onto the facing as well. And at what step of the process I'm going to attach that. So much to think about. I think I got the keyhole like teardrop shape right. I accounted for seam allowance up here as well, so this is going to be like a little thinner than this, of course. This is what I came up with for the facing. So it's pretty much just mimicking the exact shape. It's extending the shoulder a little bit so it hits the other side front panel, and then it's going a little bit underneath the keyhole design just so that edge can be finished nicely as well. And now I'm going to cut out all the pieces in my cotton muslin and show you guys what it looks like. This is why you pattern test, because this is the first piece I cut for the sleeve and it's just too tight. So now I have to take it back to the drawing board. I knew there wasn't going to be enough of this. I was just delusionally hoping that somehow it would work. But anyways, I ordered some dead stock cotton velvet from Mood. While we wait for that in the mail, let's start on another project. I couldn't have found a better version of this top to dupe because I basically have all of the necessary details already in place, like all this pleating and everything, but it is just a little oversized in the waist. Like I want it to be more fitted like the Rouje one. So that's what we're gonna do. I have to figure out a way to like add more pleats or cinch the waist in a way that's not going to ruin the effect that's already on this, because I think it's really pretty. Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna have to cut it apart and take out a bunch of this fabric. Like basically on both sides, I could probably take out like 2 to 3 inches or so. The sleeves really don't have any cool details, so maybe I could add some darts to the sleeve. Additionally, I might take this extra fabric and then make like new cuffs so it's a little bit longer. I'm just unpicking the sleeves off of the bodice so that I can get to the side seams a little bit easier. I fixed the pinning on this side. It was a little too tight on the armpit, so I went ahead and loosened that a little bit, tightened it to the waist, and flared out the hip a little bit more. And I mean, again, hard to tell because there's all the extra fabric, but I think I like that. And then the back sits like a tiny bit smoother. So I'm gonna do it on this side as well. Now I'm sewing the side seams to make them a little bit smaller. Sorry, my big ass hand keeps getting in the way. I'm gonna add some pleats to the sleeve just so I can reduce the bulk of the sleeves a little bit, because now the armhole is way smaller for the sleeve, so I think I'm gonna have to like cut this a little bit and adjust it. Hello, it's the next day. I had to go to work and I got off at like 11 p.m. so I just did not feel like doing anything after that. But what got me thinking is I have to wear white button-ups at work, and I thought, maybe I can repurpose one of them to make the long cuffs for the shirt I want. Are the whites the same? Not really, but yeah, I have an extra shirt, so I might as well like tear this one up. Shh, don't tell my job. These little scraps are just not enough fabric to make a cuff. If I remove the cuff from the sleeve, it's gonna be way easier to add those pleats that I want, and then after all of that, then I can attach the new cuff, the long one. This is so much more work than I thought this one was gonna be, but I just want it to turn out how I want it to look. I made this incredibly crude diagram of like the measurements that I need. I made the cuff out of the pattern and I like how it looks. It's like a good length compared to the cuff that I'm like referencing. And then I am gonna add one of these little loops for the button. I have the 2 sleeves ironed. My grandma gave me a bunch of different feet to go with this machine when she gave it to me, and one of them is like a Spanish hem foot. And it has this little plate thingy going in the middle of it, so this you're supposed to run along the edge of the fabric, and I think this is going to make the pleat really, really straight. I did make some progress here. I have pleats everywhere, all over the sleeves. I'm gonna add a few more pleats, keep checking it to see if it will fit in the cuff pattern that I made. Finally finished one. It's really, really wrinkly. It's like as soon as I bend my arms, it's just so wrinkly. Oh. So here I had just cut out the 2 cuffs for my work shirt and then did a little bit of interfacing on the inside of the cuff, only on half of the piece so that it wouldn't be too bulky. I wanted it to still kind of match the texture of the rest of the shirt and not be too structured in comparison. This is like gonna be so hard to sew on in the right place, but I'm going to attempt to like hold it with a pair of tweezers while I put it in the machine. Okay. Okay, did that do what I wanted it to do? Okay, like more or less. Next, I put the right sides together on the cuff and then sewed up the side seams so I could flip it out, and then the loop would be on the outside of it. It's been a few days. I went out of town to Austin for a couple days. I'm getting back into the swing of sewing, okay? I'm determined to like maybe finish a project today. I do have work later, and I am dog sitting my sister's dog Dolly, so I'm gonna have to walk her a couple times and go to work. And it's already like 10:30, so maybe it's unrealistic to think that I'm gonna finish this, but we're gonna try. We're gonna try really hard.
Talented, brilliant, incredible, amazing, show-stopping, spectacular.
Both of my packages from Mood arrived. So I have just a black zipper for the dress and then some stay tape for the neckline. And look at the like cotton velvet, it's perfect. There's enough weight to it where there's going to be structure, but it's not like too much weight where it's gonna be like stiff and starchy. I added the little loops. I think it looks good. I think I did about as well as I could. I tucked the end into the cuff and I pinned around. I'm scared. I'm gonna do the same thing to the other side, trim all of the excess thread and then pin the cuff, and we'll frickin' see how it goes. Like halfway through sewing the cuff, it's like starting to buckle up. I might have to unpick it and redo the whole thing. I just stopped like halfway through because I wasn't liking how it was looking and realized that it didn't catch the entire other side of the cuff. So yeah, now I will have to unpick all of that. I think that the pins were buckling the fabric a little bit too much. I added a basting stitch on both the sleeves, so I'm gonna see if that helps it lay a little bit flatter as I'm sewing. When I tried on the bodice again before attaching the sleeves, I noticed that the sides were just like a little bit loose. So I went ahead and made the side seams a little smaller as well. I extended these pleats, like a lot of them ended like around here. So I extended some of them up to the bust so that it could shape it a little bit more. Then I pinned and sewed the sleeve. I don't love where the shoulder is actually sitting. Unfortunately, I need to unpick this and then I need to take off some of the shoulder so that it sits a little higher. Ooh, yeah, that did not look good. So I'm unpicking it so I can cut the shoulder a little bit more. And then this is just me sewing that back in place again. Okay, that shoulder is so much better. I forgot all about the hem. I'm just going to, use this curve on the front panel of the shirt, match it up over here, and just kind of like meet the curve at the bottom here. I don't want to take too much off of it because I like the length of the shirt. So I'm just gonna round this out a little bit more. Okay, it's done. If you're close enough to me to see that this isn't perfect, you better take a step back. I'm going to take all these buttons off and then replace them with these gorgeous, gorgeous mother of pearl buttons. This is making me quite nervous. Here goes nothing. I put glasses on just in case the button starts to, oh my God. Oh my God. Wow. 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 Okay. I broke a needle. Oops. All the buttons are added to the front.
Oh my God, babe, you look so pretty. You look gorgeous. Breathtaking. I can't breathe.
Now I have to add them to the cuff right here. Oh, you can't see that? Oh my God, I'm so good at recording. Like this. I'm gonna like attach it right here. The Rouje shirt has 3 buttons on the cuff, so I think I'm gonna add those. I finished the white button up. Now I want to keep rolling with my other projects. I want to lay out the pattern pieces for the dress on the black cotton velvet. Oh my gosh. I totally forgot you're supposed to like wash and dry the fabric before you cut out pieces, so it's pre-shrunk and it doesn't shrink once you cut everything and turn out too small. That would have been really smart to do ahead of time. Didn't think ahead, obviously. Bonus project time while the fabric is in the wash. I have these extra pieces from the white button-up. I think I want to make a choker, and then I can maybe add like a little flower onto it or something. I think that would be really, really cute. I was looking for reference photos for the choker that I wanted to make. Found this blue marine one. Now, blue marine is a designer. Like, it's a designer. So I guess it makes sense that it would be priced this much, but $360 for a polyester dog collar. I'm definitely improvising here. Yeah, the choker didn't like fit my neck. It didn't overlap how I wanted it to, so I could use a hook and eye. So I also wanted to make like a base for the flower to go on. So I just cut a couple pieces, like I sewed a circle of cotton muslin, overlocked the edges, and then tacked them onto both sides. And so I kind of like arranged it where I want it to lay on my neck. And oh god, it's like really hard to do this one-handed. Basically, it's gonna overlap like this, and I'm going to put one of the hook and eye things here and one on this side, and then sew the flower onto that. And then I'm gonna add the button and the pearl to the center, but I need to do some like reworking of the flower. I've just been trying to figure out how it's actually gonna get on my neck. Okay, this is what I have so far. I'm going for sort of like a peony type of look, or like a wild rose. She's like, get this out of my face. This is the last step for this one. It's done after this. We did it, y'all. We did it, Joe.
Okay.
Wow. Some might say that I'm over pinning here, and then I also started doing a basting stitch on the pieces as well, because they kept slipping around and just like not lining up properly. So I had to probably unpick and re-sew this like 7 times maybe. The bodice is all stitched, top stitched and all. Okay, I was gonna keep going, but she is harassing me. You wanna go out? You wanna go out? Ow!
What are you looking forward to?
Oh, thank you so much. I moved on to the skirt pieces, and I did a basting stitch as well to help just like hold it into place because it keeps slipping around. It's pissing me off. I realized I made a huge goof, and you can see that very clearly here with this piece not being the same grain. I cut this one like upside down or something, and so it doesn't have the same sheen as these pieces. But then if I flip it this way, it's dark, and then these have the different sheen. Same thing over here. Oh my god, it looks really bad. Oh my god, dude. I don't want to waste the pieces that I already cut. Like, this looks crazy right here, but I think it's just because the light is like coming directly from my window right here, so it's really showing as much variation in like the grain and the color. I think this is gonna be something that I wear like at night, maybe in low lighting, so I feel like it's gonna be harder to tell. I'm just gonna rock with it because I don't want to redo pretty much everything I got done. I was about to just pin the bodice and the skirt together to sew along the waistline, but then I thought like it looked really, really messy. I went ahead and serged it and did like I like cut off just like a little bit from the edge just to get all the frayed bits off of it. And now I'm gonna painstakingly make sure that all of the seams line up on each panel. I'm back to overpinning here, and in fact, overpinning to the point where I'm keeping the pins in while I'm sewing. I'm just sewing right over them, and I never do this because I get scared, and I did break a couple pins, but it was worth it because it all stayed in place. Look at the color difference on this. Ah, it's pissing me off. It's pissing me off so bad. I really messed up. This looks like Pinhead from Hellraiser. I added some stay tape. I wish I got like the fusible interfacing one. I'm stitching this on the wrong side of the fabric. I'm just gonna do like a basting stitch to hold it in place. I might put it along the like edge of the shoulders and the neck and everything as well. here I was just sewing the sides of the sleeve together and then serging it right after. I learned my lesson with trying to pin that sleeve on the white shirt. I was going baste and stitch and clips here. It took a little bit of maneuvering because the sleeve was too narrow to actually fit around the machine, so I just kind of had to hope it didn't get caught. Oh my god. Look at the garment construction we got going here. The serging, the zipper, the facing. I saw a video on how to finish off the end of a zipper. It's probably gonna be stabbing me in the butt the whole time I wear this. My strategy for this entire dress has just been pin it to smithereens, dude. I guess I forgot to film this, but I just sewed the sleeve into the bodice and then serged that so it was nice and polished. I also serged the bottom of the dress, did probably a 1/2 inch fold over and just tacked that down with a stitch, and I was finished. All the projects are done, you guys. So now it's time to do the reveal. This was definitely the most cost-effective, the easiest, the fastest flip to do. All I really used was just a thrifted dress and some lace trim. So very simple. Total is $21.96. Look, you guys, I just finished curling my hair with the Dyson Airwrap. Doesn't it look so good? The original price for this dress is $305. These are all the materials that I use, the fabric, the notions, the shipping, leading to a cost of $89.35, which is a lot, but not as much as the original dress. I'm so happy with this. Look at the frickin' little choker I made. I feel like Bella Hadid or something. If I bought this on Rouje, it would be $170 for a button-up. This is all the materials, leading to a grand total of $32.48. So not bad for a couple days' work. Next, I'm going to get started on a Reformation dupe. I have my whole Millinote board with a bunch of different stuff that I want to recreate. Some projects that I have half finished that I might include in there as well. If you had a favorite, please comment and let me know. Let me know if there's any Rouje items that you want me to try to dupe as well. I will try my best to recreate anything. If you watched this whole long video, especially it being my first one ever, thank you so much. I really hope that you got some inspiration from these looks and that, you know, maybe you even want to create some of your own Rouje dupes or just thrift flips in general. Okay, that's all. See you in my next video. Mwah!